Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Crazy Monkey here, another blog update. So this blog update, I want to talk, to immigrants themselves. People that are brand new immigrants to America, or you're going to come to America as a new immigrant. And I just want to directly speak to the immigrants themselves. You've been here 5 years as an immigrant, been here 2 years, you're just arriving to America now. This blog, I want to talk to the immigrants themselves. Look, I'm not against immigration. What I'm against is massive, out-of-control immigration. I support immigration that is reduced from its current level. I support, 20, 40,000 H-1B visas per year, not 85,000, and definitely not increase it to 200,000. Definitely not increase it. I support lowering H-1B visas to 20, 40,000 a year because that's more sustainable, and that's what the number should be, based on all the evidence that I've researched. And as for illegal immigration, we need to build a wall, and we need to lower illegal immigration dramatically. All right, and then for legal immigration, we need to lower that by about 50%. And if we do all three of those things, then immigration will be sustainable, and the numbers will be reduced about 50 to 75% reduced from the current numbers. And again, if we do that, the numbers are sustainable. Here's the thing: the immigration at its current numbers is collapsing America into the third world. If we were to double immigration, which is what a lot of Democrats, a lot of socialists, a lot of leftists, and their corporate foundations want to do, they want to double immigration. If we did that, we would become third world probably in about 10 years. This country would probably become a third world country in about a decade. At our current numbers, maybe it'll take 20 years, maybe 30 years. All right? When you have massive out of control immigration, you're going to collapse America into the third world very quick. I say this to everybody, and I'll say it now directly to any immigrants watching this blog. You just got to America legally, all right? Now, would you support 100 million immigrants legally coming to America in 1 year? Would you support that? And I imagine if you really thought about it, what would happen to the rents for apartments if 100 million people came to this country in 1 year? What do you think would happen to the rents for apartments? The rents would skyrocket. What do you think would happen to the housing prices? They would skyrocket. And what do you think would happen to the wages? What do you think would happen to the wages if like 50 million legal immigrants came here, 50 million illegal, or 100 million legal immigrants came here? What do you think would happen to the wages? They would collapse. Now, if you have collapsing wages and skyrocketing rents, what does that equal? That equals third world country overnight, all right? So think about that, because you'll probably agree with me. You'll probably agree, wow, that crazy monkey's right. What he said is totally true. Exactly, it's totally true. That's why I think immigration should be around 1 million per year. Currently, with legal and illegal immigration, it's around 2 to 2.5 million a year. That number should be reduced a lot, down to like say 500,000 to 1 million per year. That's total immigration. It should be reduced to around 500,000 to 1 million per year, and that would be much more sustainable. And even that number is actually quite high. Even that number is quite high when you really think about it. And, the thing is, look at California. If massive immigration is so wonderful, then why is California such a wreck? Why are the rents in California so high? Why is there a massive housing crisis in California? Why is it the poverty rate adjusted to the cost of living in California is higher than any other state in this country? It's because of mass immigration. They've allowed a massive amount of illegal immigrants to go into California, a massive amount of legal immigrants, H-1B visa immigrants to go into California. They've allowed filthy rich foreigners to buy up just thousands and thousands of houses in California, driving the prices insanely sky high so middle class people can't afford it. And what does California now look like? Go to San Francisco, where the homeless bums piss and shit all over the streets. Parts of California now look like a third world country. California is literally turning into a Venezuela. It's literally turning into a third world country where the rich elites, the socialist politicians, the tech CEOs, they have just hundreds of millions, billions and billions of dollars. They're the overlords. They're the socialist elites. They're the ones at the top of the pyramid with all the money. And then the middle class is just getting gutted in California. And then you have this massive, massive underclass of poor people. Lots of them are illegal immigrants living in poverty. Lots of them are new immigrants arrived, living in poverty. A lot of them are Californians that have lived there for many years. They can't afford a house. They're living in poverty. You basically just have a massive underclass in California of poor people. And they're never going to get up. They're never going to get up into the middle class, because if the average house is 500,000 to 1 million, that first rung on the middle class ladder is impossible to get to. They can't get to it because it's $500,000, $1 million high. They can't even get to that first rung on the middle class ladder. So they're basically slaves for their entire life. They're gonna work 40, 50, 60 hours a week their entire life, you know, and they're never gonna own a house. They're gonna be renters forever, just staying poor, dirt poor forever, you know, having a net worth. The average renter has a net worth of around $4,000 in their bank account. That's all they have. You know, and they're just gonna stay poor forever. And that's the plan. That is the plan of these billionaire CEOs at the top, these tech CEOs at the top, these Democrat socialist politicians. Their plan is to make an entire country of dirt poor people where 90% of the population will be renters, a total slave, servant underclass, and then they're gonna have like just a tiny handful at the top that are filthy rich, and then they're gonna have like a small middle class, like 7, 8, 9%, and then they're gonna have this massive 90% slave class that they're then gonna use to Democrat socialist politics and different socialist parties as basically the management system to keep those people in check, to keep those people in line. And those people are going to keep voting for socialists, thinking they're going to get something for free, thinking they're going to get ahead, thinking they're going to get a minimum wage increase, and all they're going to get is more poverty, more poverty, more poverty. All right, if California, San Francisco, the most leftist city in America, San Francisco, if the left-wing politics were so great for poor people, if the leftist politics, if the socialist leftist politics in San Francisco were so great for immigrants, if they were so great for the American people, poor people in general, working class, middle class people in general, if they were so great, if they switched income from the wealthy elites to the middle class and the poor, if those things were true, then why is San Francisco such a cesspool? Why is San Francisco such a hellhole? Why is San Francisco, the rich elites have all the money and then like the people at the bottom are homeless in the streets? Why is San Francisco got such a massive divide between the rich and the poor? Because that's what socialism is. Socialism is a monarchy. Socialism is monarchy. That's what it is. It's monarchy. You have a few people at the top there with all the wealth, all the money, and then you have a massive slave underclass at the bottom. That is exactly what socialism is, because it's monarchy 2.0, that's what it is. And you know, I just want to say to the immigrants, I support modern immigration, so you can be middle class, so you can buy a house, so you can have the American dream, so you can assimilate into America, have a house, have a family, you know, have a great job, maybe even start your own business. That's what I support, all right? I don't support the Democrat socialist system of just flooding this country with hundreds of millions of people, so then those people grow up in poverty their entire lives, and their children grow up in poverty their entire lives, and they can never buy a house because houses are $1 million. That is not what I support. That's what the Democrat socialists support, because they get all the money, they get filthy rich at the top, and then all of us get dirt poor slaves at the bottom.